Hi everybody, it's Dietzel here from AwakenTheAuthorWithin.com and another legacy video today. And with me I have Nathan Mohr, and Nathan is an instrumental part of our team. Nathan's out of Cocoa Beach, Florida, and we're actually down in Deerfield Beach, which if you look on the map is right between West Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale. It's beautiful weather down here, Nathan, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Nathan is a resident Floridian. And what I thought we'd do today is actually let Nathan interview me, spend a few minutes here, and just share with you another legacy principle.
Very good. Glenn, we were talking about relationships earlier and the importance of connecting with people and connecting with your marketplace and really differentiating yourself. What do you feel like is one of the biggest things that you've learned in regards to connecting with not only on an individual level, but on a mass level with your marketplace?
Definitely connecting with people is absolutely critical, and I think what's really fundamental to connecting, Nathan, is to really be clear on your story and the story that you want to be able to deliver into the marketplace. Most of you that have been with us for any length of time know that I'm a former vice principal. You know that I set 2 internet records, and we did that not, I say that not to gloat but to make a point that truly, and not to be cliche-ish at all, but if I can do it, anybody can. And it's really important for each of you to be really clear on your story. We talk about each of you having $1 million story. It's part of our unconscious credibility marketing system, and truly, just being clear on the company's story and being clear on each of you out there, your own story is really, really critical.
Absolutely. For those of us that aren't really sure of how to really define ourselves, or really how to there might be certain things about our story that we're not necessarily comfortable with. How do we get into the flow of getting that out there and maybe projecting that into the marketplace?
Well, that's a really good question. I mean, how do you actually find your $1 million story? It's a process. It's a process of really understanding who you are, where you've come from. It's a process of understanding what your values are, what your mission and what your vision is truly of what you want in life. And most importantly, it's really important to understand where you've come from and understanding that the experiences that you have had in life, that's what people want. Those are the connecting points to your marketplace, or through the experiences. People, Nathan, as you know, they don't want more information.
Right.
They want all the experiences that you've had to solve, and then they want you to communicate to them to know that you can solve their problems in the marketplace.
It's very interesting. You're absolutely right. I want to say that it was great to meet you and your family on this trip. It's what I really find fascinating is the ability to live in a balance of working really hard and being really passionate about what you do, but on the same time really integrating your family into your goals, so that way you can make sure that you get all the support you need, because I know that's something that I'm still working on in my present situation. Do you have any pointers or tips for me personally in being passionate about what I do, loving and growing a business, but on the same time living a balanced life?
Yeah, living a balanced life is really, really difficult, because when you truly find that sweet spot that really makes you go in the marketplace and you really realize the legacy that you want to leave, work truly doesn't become work anymore. It truly becomes it just becomes a life mission, that vision we were talking about, and truly understanding what your values are. And part of that is to make sure that the significant people in your life, and I mean the truly significant ones, you're going to have significant people that are naysayers, people that question you, like my dad questioned me for the longest time, until he saw what I was actually doing and bringing home, and that's my dad bringing bacon I was bringing home, because my dad's an accountant, and for him, the bottom line was ultimately what was important. But that's important, but what's really important too is to make sure that you do have a balanced life. And something I share with you, Nate, and I share with each of you out there, that when you really enjoy what you're doing, you have to be careful, because you can literally work around the clock making something happen. So it's important that you do have moments, you have periods of time that you take off with your family. And one thing that we've tried to do as a family is to make sure that quarterly, that we do our best to get away as a family. And that's something that I would exhort you to do, and I would exhort each of you to do too, is to really make sure that you take time for yourself to recharge your batteries. Because when you really get in the moment and doing things, sometimes it's really difficult to be that, to tap into the creativity, because you're so busy, you get yourself run down, you get yourself tired, that You got to recharge your battery. And you hear people saying that all the time in a cliche, but truly, if you really want to be creative, you've got to get away. And there's no better place, there's no better method or way of getting away than with your family. Bringing your family, the ones that truly buy into what you're doing, and they're there to support you, and where you can actually be creative with your family, and just tap into that energy that they have.
So you were saying some of the things that we were talking about earlier, about getting buy-in, how the importance of getting buy-in from your family, so that way they can support you. Would you say part of these trips and reconnecting is part of gathering more of that support and making sure they know why you're doing this and why you're doing it for them and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, if you can't get that emotional support from your family, you're going to be building this big dream, but at the end of the day, you're going to be the only one living it with no one there to celebrate. And it's very lonely to be celebrating something. I mean, Nate, when you've had the biggest moments of your life, the biggest rushes, the biggest, like, wow, I achieved this, this, and this. You want to be able to share that with other people that truly mean something. If you don't have other people to share it with, it's meaningless, really, in terms of what you do.
Absolutely. So for the people that are just getting started today, I'm just want to ask one more quick question, because I know there's a lot of individuals that are starting to pay attention to what you're doing, because you're building businesses for so many people so rapidly, and a lot of people that are just getting started want to go ahead and connect with you. So if I was just starting a business, what would be the first thing that I would do if I were you, if you were them?
Well, the very first thing that you need to do is definitely connect with mentors, and you need to have a mastermind team in your life. You need to have a spouse or a boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other in your life that's going to raise your hand and champion your cause at an emotional level. And secondly, you need to make sure that you connect with mentors and have your own mastermind team. It's absolutely fundamental and crucial. You can take 100 people, 100 of the brightest people, and say out of that 100 people, there's one person that's going to be mentored personally by somebody that's gone ahead and gone before them. I wanted each of you to challenge your thinking right now. With that person, out of those 100 people, who would be most likely to succeed? And you have to honestly say it's the person being personally mentored that has also the emotional support of a mastermind team, albeit a husband, a wife, a significant other, and people in the marketplace that understand where you're going.
Excellent. And what are some of the attributes, what are some of the things that you should look for in a mastermind team?
The attributes of a mastermind team are people who really understand the twin tickets to freedom, which are sales and marketing. You have to have people in your mastermind team that understand sales, marketing. Those, you might not have people that are business owners, although I'd really recommend that you have that, but you have people that are understand the whole commission aspect, that for a company to truly grow, you need people that are commissioned. They understand it's like having their own business inside of another company, because they're rewarded based on making growth, making things happen within that company.
Fantastic.
Nate, anything else you want to conclude on? And if not, then we'll wrap up our legacy video for this day.
No, I really appreciate the time. I always learn so much. Glenn, when I'm with you, you're definitely a mentor of mine, and I wouldn't trade this time for anything.
So thanks, Nate. And for the entire Awaken team, we salute you to your legacy. We salute you to saying yes to an opportunity. Make sure that you phone our offices at area code 519-542-3043, 519-542-3043, or email me, Glenn with 2 N's, at awakentheauthorwithin.com. For the entire Awaken team, and for Nathan Mohr here, we salute you to your legacy. We salute you to saying yes to an opportunity. We salute you to taking focused, outcome-driven action. We salute you, as we talked about today, having significant people in your life that are going to prod you, compel you to move forward towards your legacy. Go for it, everybody. I guarantee you it's worth it. For the entire Awaken team from Deerfield Beach, I look forward to talking to you again really soon.